is concerned about is getting Courtney Walker the ball. Jordan Jones does that so well.
Curtis Knox will fill in, as she did last year in 6 games when Jordan Jones tore her ACL and was unavailable at the end of the year. One of those, an NCAA tournament game. Underway, and Texas A&M at 16-7, 6-4 in conference in their home white uniforms. And Kylie Hilsman takes the opening rebound. Hilsman, number 00, took a pretty tough fall in practice earlier today, but shows no signs of being worse for wear. Pull-up jump shot along the baseline into the side of the board, and here comes Vivians out of the backcourt. Been doing a much better job, known for her scoring. She takes her first 15-foot jump shot, but Vic Schaefer, Mississippi State head coach, says she's been doing a much better job at the defensive end and particularly on the backboards.
Victoria Vivian's defense has picked up this season. She had 5 steals in their last game against Missouri. Oh, that's a big finish by Kyla Hilsman inside. And Gary Blair told us he felt like his bigs were better than Mississippi State's bigs, so we'll see him establish Kyla Hilsman early.
Hilsman, the 6'5" sophomore out of Chicago, averaging 8 points, 5 rebounds, and Morgan Williams answers at the other end. 5'5" sophomore point guard out of Birmingham, Alabama. Still playing with a very sore leg, but getting better by the day.
Number 1 for Texas A&M, Courtney Williams, is going to have to really add the offensive punch that Texas A&M's missing without Jordan Jones.
Courtney Williams has really been struggling, was 0 for 7. Been playing with a bad back, mind you, but 0 for 7 against Tennessee. And over the last 2 games, just 2 of 17. Walker off the side of the iron, and the rebound taken by Chinwe Okure of Mississippi State. Morgan Williams left all alone off the back of the iron. Okure takes the offensive rebound and is hit up high, but called for the traveling violation. A couple of absolutely wonderful coaches. First of all, the Hall of Famer Gary Blair, 27th season overall Hall of Famer, as mentioned, and his former assistant coach for 15 years, not only 9 years here at Texas A&M, but also 6 years at Arkansas prior to that. Won a national championship together in 2011. Some backcourt pressure, and here is Knox filling in once again for Jordan Jones, wearing number 11 in white.
Man-to-man pressure by Mississippi State. Both of these teams, you're going to see similar defenses played by each other.
Courtney Williams to the rim, and the defensive rotation a little bit late, a little bit too deep, and Williams will go to the free throw line. Williams averaging 12 points, 4 rebounds. The Houston native, 2 times all SEC, averaged 15 points per game last year. And I talked to her before the game about the back injury, and she said it wasn't one particular fall, it wasn't one particular move, it wasn't in the weight room. It's just a stress reaction in her back, and she's really heavily braced. And what it's to prevent is hyperextension of her back. But you're right, Carolyn. She got to start putting up points, and she's really trying hard to play through this discomfort.
But you talked to her about her pain, and I asked her, is it a constant pain? And she said, no, it's only when I move in a special or a certain way. Look at Henrielle Howard on the board. She was big for them in the win against Tennessee.
Yeah, number 5 down inside, very lively player. Both of these teams are good on the offensive boards. Here comes Morgan Williams outside, and boy, everybody around the league ought to be happy that her physical condition is improving. You see that heavy pad on her right shin, also dealing with a stretch reaction. Williams off to Katera Chappell, offensive rebound comes right back to her. And Dominique Dillingham with the first look, 0-0, averaging 8 points per game out of Spring, Texas. Had a huge game in their first ever, they being Mississippi State first ever win at home. About 10 days ago now against Tennessee. She had 14 points along with playing magnificent defense.
And Vic Schaefer talks about Dominique Dillingham gets the assignment of their opponent's best player night in and night out. And he said, oh, and by the way, I need you to score some points.
Yeah, you got to score a little bit more. Brianna Richardson, 6'1" junior out of Conyers, Georgia, wearing number 3 in maroon, coming on now for Mississippi State at 8-3 in conference. They lost 3 out of 4, but have now won 4 straight. And are at 21-4 overall.
Williams needs to get going, but I think, Paul, she is most effective when she's at that 4 spot. Playing on the perimeter scoring has been very difficult. That was a double dribble.
Yeah, got away with that, and an air ball offensive rebound taken inside once again by Texas A&M. Anriel Howard has been a real bright spot, not putting up huge numbers, but has filled in nicely and doing a good job on the offensive boards. The ball goes over to Mississippi State.
Anriel Howard is an energizer bunny. You're going to see her in every possession. She's going after the rebound. Doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense. She's crashing the boards.
Averaging 5 points, 5 rebounds out of Atlanta, Georgia. Shooting it pretty well at 49%. Made a nice contribution. On the curl to Vivians, looks good, a little bit long, and nice block out and rebound in traffic taken by number 13, just on the floor now, Chelsea Jennings.
Jennings' offense, her scoring has gone up, and when we came into shoot around before Mississippi State got the floor, Chelsea Jennings was out here putting up shots.
Traveling violation called against Kyla Hillsman down inside. Again, 14.6 rebounds against Tennessee. The overtime victory, 76-71. After Texas A&M was down 13 at one point and down 11 with 3 minutes to go. A rare turnover for William. Nobody stops the ball, right into Anriel Howard, who's missed her second layup right at point-blank range.
You know, Gary Blair said he thought that his posts were better than Vic Schaefer's posts, but both set of posts on both teams really struggle to finish consistently in the paint. They've got to knock down those bunnies.
Slante Allen on the floor now, the 5'8" redshirt junior out of Louisiana. Taking over for Curtis Knox. Again, if you're just joining us, All-American Jordan Jones injured against Tennessee. Underwent the concussion protocol. She was not cleared on Monday, so out of tonight's game. Boy, they're allowing some contact on the outside. Morgan William down inside, and Hillsman takes the rebound. Boy, Allen being very aggressive. 3 layups missed. Now 4. Point blank range. I mean, 4 layups missed already. Tough one in traffic that time by Slante Allen, but Kyla Hillsman has got to finish that.
Well, if Courtney Walker's not getting shot attempts, Victoria Vivian's not hitting, and they're missing layups, I'm expecting a low-scoring game.
And for field goal percentage, 2 for 8 for Mississippi State, 1 for 8 right now for Texas A&M. Texas A&M should have about 8 points in the paint. Number 4, 10-minute quarters. Shoot 2 free throws after your opponent has committed 5 team fouls. Allen with a very ill-advised pull-up jump shot. Walker after it, and Victoria Vivian's down on the floor.
A&M really missing Jordan Jones on the court. She's that player that if her team needs a basket, she'll knock down a big 3 and get the momentum going for the Aggies.
Vic Schaefer saying today at shoot-around that, ladies, remember, defense travels. Offense sometimes not, defense travels. He's got to be happy with the defense so far. At the offensive end, Okore not there, and the rebound taken once again, this time by Chelsea Jennings.
Just surprised that Texas A&M has not gotten shot attempts for Courtney Walker.
That's a smart foul. That was a live ball turnover by Jennings off the high screen and roll. So just underway, and the offense has yet to show up.
Head coaches say they're like brothers, both good and bad. And to give you an idea on how close these two coaches really are, Vic Schaefer's daughter Blair, who is a sophomore on this Mississippi State team, was partially named after A&M's head coach. A lot of ties in this one tonight, guys.
And I talked to Holly Schaefer, Casey, before the game, and Holly told me that when she had her twins, because Blair has a brother Logan, that Gary Blair, in giving her a baby gift, gave her a 4-year scholarship. And he actually signed it. He said, "This is for your daughter to come play for me."
First couple of meetings between Texas A&M and Vic Schaefer's Mississippi State team when Coach Schaefer first took over were not competitive at all, either here at Texas A&M or down in Starkville. That changed when Mississippi State won 63-61 last year and got their first ever win. The tough luck Anriel Howard misses that again. 1 for 10 is Texas A&M, 2 for 9 is Mississippi State. And a lot of not good looks, great looks, point blank looks. I'm speaking, of course, about Texas A&M.
and Texas A&M in a zone, not allowing the ball to come in the paint. And that's a good move because it's tough to make shots, protect that paint.
Skip pass, 3 to shoot. Dillingham's got to go. 27-footer on the way and buries that. So a couple of layups missed, but a long shot that time by Dominic Dillingham against the shot clock. Just shows you how this game has gone offensively. 3:15 remaining in the opening quarter. Allen back at the point, into the corner to Walker for her first basket. That's a pretty good place to go.
Courtney Walker for Texas A&M has got to get shots. And then for Mississippi State, Victoria Vivians has got to continue to get looks on the offensive end. These are 1 and 2 players in scoring in the SEC.
William down among the trees. That was Hillsman rejecting that. Walker feeling it. Pull-up jumper. And just like that, Courtney Walker, as you mentioned, one of the best mid-range games in all of college basketball.
I love it. So many players want to work on the 3, or they're handling, going to the basket. Courtney Walker's got that mid-range jump shot.
Timeout here is called at Reign Arena. Well, if their offense is struggling, Courtney Walker is confident. Gets a little bit of airspace. She's going to turn around and have an open 17 to maybe 17 to 13-foot jump shot.
Well, what Gary Blair does such a great job of is defining roles. Everybody on the Texas A&M team knows that their number 1 option is Courtney Walker, and everybody feeds in understanding how to get her the ball.
Down along the baseline, Vivians, they wipe away the 3. Okori is called for the offensive foul, and a really good job by Chelsea Jennings running through that screen to draw the foul.
Well, Chinwe Okori continues to move as Chelsea Jennings is trying to get by the screen. And I saw Vic Schaefer look at her and say, you cannot move. You have got to stay stationary. Victoria Vivians will use your screen. Don't move.
Let's quickly go back to the sideline and Casey Smith.
Well, Paul, Vic Schaefer's emphasis in that last huddle was not being aggressive enough. He said, guys, we're in man-to-man. We need to attack, stop being passive, and take it to the rim.
Oh, boy, a little bit of trip there on the perimeter. Hillsman was set. Rebound taken in traffic. Coming on for the first time, Tierra McCown, 6'7" freshman. And limping into the backcourt is Slante Allen. Dillingham feeling a little bit offensively. Good rebound in traffic. Wild shot.
That's the thing that McCowan, the freshman, has got to understand. You got to find the basket before you shoot it. You've got to turn around, you've got to see it, and then release.
Slante Allen, who was in a collision down at the other end, at the offensive end, mind you. Not the backup, but the 3rd point guard now. Again, Jordan Jones not playing, so trying to walk that off. So the ranks getting thinner and thinner.
Allen's had a nice little show and go. She must have come down wrong to have a little bit of a leg problem.
So Curtis Knox back on after she started the game. And that's going to be a held ball, and the possession arrow will keep it at the end of Mississippi State. Boy, both of these teams really struggling offensively. Courtney Walker giving Texas A&M a little bit of a spark, but nobody else can score. Tied at 7. Played 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Pull-up jump shot not there. Offensive rebound once again. And Tierra McCown will learn to get much stronger with the basketball. Williams driving baseline and runs through Dillingham, who picks up yet another charge. She leads Mississippi State in that category, putting up big numbers at the defensive end.
Dillingham is so willing to sacrifice her body and take the charge. I think that's, what, 38?
Yeah, 38.
38 on the season. She's taken 38. Morgan Williams has taken 38 for Mississippi State.
We'd like to say that both of these teams have played really good defense in this opening quarter, but I would not agree on that. And at the other end, very good job by Jennings picking up that personal foul that time on number 35, Victoria Vivians.
Jennings beating Victoria Vivians to the spot. Both of these teams have great defensive mentality. Vic Schaefer from Mississippi State. And you've got Bob Starkey, who has taken over the defense for Texas A&M.
Both teams with fouls to give. Texas A&M only 2 team fouls. Mississippi State with 3. Knox, step back jumper off the front of the iron. Pretty good block out that time by McCowan. Ball on the floor. And here comes Vivians. Vivians on the step through, lays it way too hard off the glass. And now Walker quickly out of the back court. You got to pick her up. You got to find her early. Walker baseline, very nice pass. That rattles in and out. Jennings was open there. And an offensive rebound taken by Williams, and Texas A&M will reset. Tied at 7. What an unlikely score. And it's not because of the defense, Carolyn. Both of these teams really struggling. Pull-up jump shot rattles in and out. Rebound taken. Shot clock is off. And Mississippi State will have it for the final possession.
Mississippi State really needs to have Victoria Vivian see the ball go through the hoop. Well, they have a play where they have a double screen for her to run off of. That would really get her going.
Vivians, as we showed you right before tip, averaging 17 points per game. Time winding down. Three-pointer on the way and rattles home. So a couple of unlikely makes. A lot of layups missed, but Dominique Dillingham hits a three-pointer again.
Hey, reach with your other hand. Great pass. Reach with your other hand. I'm with you. Relax. Get the ball to the rim. Let's go. Play under control. You're doing fine. I love your tempo. Just play solid defense. They will shoot bricks. You can run. We got to have a trailer.
Gary Blair saying very positive with his team, because you know that they are thinking in the back of their mind, can we do this without Jordan Jones? So he's reinforcing that with positive reinforcement.
Good block inside by the 6'7" freshman McCowan, who grew up about 30 miles from Reed Arena, one that got away from Gary Blair. Coach Blair was talking about bricks. Well, I'll tell you, they built some walls in that opening quarter. Mississippi State 4 of 17, another three-pointer knocked down by the Bulldogs. Texas A&M 3 of 17.
Well, Victoria Vivians may start to heat up. She just knocked down a long-distance three. When that happens, woo, she's good.
Mid-range jump shot once again. Courtney Walker, an all shoot-around long. Vic Schaefer was talking about hedging up on Courtney Walker on that high ball screen, but hadn't gotten it done so far. Walker with a half dozen.
Walker does such a nice job of scoring in space. You very rarely see her force a bad shot.
Good crossover dribble. Vivian's down the lane, high up off the glass. McCown has gotten 3 offensive rebounds and nothing to show for it. Here's Walker. There's that mid-range game again. She is just a delight to watch.
And again, she didn't force it. She didn't try to go in and throw up a layup, but she had the defense backing up, so she stopped just in time for the pull-up.
As poor as the shooting has been, Courtney Walker is 4 of 6. The rest of the team, 1 of 14. Walker again at the other end, Carolyn. Young players out there, this is how you do it.
Well, yeah, she saw Dominique Dillingham backing up, and then she found the opening. She does such a terrific job of scoring in space. But look at this, Victoria Vivians, that's NBA range. Number 35 knocking down the three.
Katera Chappell just picked up her second personal foul. Dangerous inbounds pass. Almost stolen away that time by Taylor Cooper, number 3 in white on the floor for the first time. Dillingham on the flyby, and it will be a couple of free throws off the up fake, and the foul will be on Cooper. Dominique Dillingham, an 81% free throw shooter so far on the year. And Vic Schaefer really wants her to make the all-defensive team. I don't think he has to do much lobbying. Coming up next at 9 Eastern right here on the SEC Network, it's more women's college basketball as number 25 Tennessee takes on Vanderbilt. Well, let's start the Tennessee conversation. Again, quite frankly, blew an 11-point advantage with 3 minutes remaining on the road to Texas A&M, and that's not the only lead they gave up. They led Mississippi State by a dozen in the fourth quarter before gave up that victory also on the road. So they go down to Nashville to Vandy, your alma mater. So nothing is a given now that Tennessee's really struggling.
Well, especially in that game because it's an in-state rivalry. And Melanie Balcom will have her team prepared, but I think that Holly Warlick is continuing to get her team's attention. They've done it for 3 quarters in those 2 games you mentioned, now just to finish it in the 4th.
And speaking of finish, Tennessee will close out the weekend hosting South Carolina, the roll down the lane, and Tierra McCowan really struggling right now, doing a pretty good job at the offensive board, but cannot get anything back up at the rim. There are the current standings. South Carolina losing their first game to number 1 UConn. Mississippi State, Florida currently tied in the loss column. The Texas A&M right there as well. And you look at their rankings, you look at their RPI, you look at their strength of schedule. All 3 of those teams I just mentioned a chance to host in the first 2 rounds. William out of the backcourt. Crowd wanted a foul as Walker went down inside. And Courtney Williams with the steal, number 1 in white. Nice crossover dribble, getting down inside. Pass a little bit too high for Curtis Knox.
You know, the mistakes mount, and there's more because you don't have your floor general on the floor in Jordan Jones. Now it's a matter of how do you handle that to bounce back, because if you had Jordan Jones on the floor, she'd be able to rally the troops and go, listen, that's okay. Erase that or forget about that last mistake and move forward.
Vivian's on the curl, another offensive rebound on the held ball. It will be Mississippi State's basketball once again.
Well, it's hot outside. It's gotten warm in here in this tough rivalry.
Coach Blair has seen it all in his 27 seasons as a college head coach, 13th here at Texas A&M. But I don't think he expected his team to be 5 of 20 from the floor. Vivian's again, long-range 3-pointer, no. And Chappell lets the offensive rebound opportunity drift over the baseline, and Curtis Knox will inbound. 7:03 remaining in the opening half.
Victoria Vivians has struggled from the floor. She's 2 for 10 so far. I thought she would get in a rhythm after she hit those deep threes.
Here's Walker once again, working against one of the conference's best. Started to say that Vic Schaefer kind of lobbying for Dillingham to make the all-defensive team. I don't think there's any possibility that she'll be left off this year. Mississippi State digging that out as Brianna Richardson, going after that ball. Katera Chappell with a loose ball. Morgan William right down the lane, and it gets the offensive rebound.
5-5, and she gets an offensive rebound.
Vivians, boy, quick off her feet, and a big battle, wow. 2 women going down hard. Number 23 battling down inside Rachel Mitchell at 6'7", the senior, going after it with Tierra McCowan, also at 6'7", the freshman from Mississippi State.
Well, have their arms are interlocked, and it looks like Rachel Mitchell pulled McCowan down.
Wow. That was a real physical exchange, and the referees did a good job of reading body language because both of those young women were not about to back down. I think they got it right. It took a little while, but...
Wait a minute. McCowan had inside position boxing out. Rachel Mitchell grabbed her by the arm.
Right, but I think they called the initial high elbow on McCowan.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, I'll give you that. We're over here boxing out, sitting at the table. Oh, and William misses both free throws, and she is one player that you wouldn't expect that. She shoots 84% from the free throw line.
Mitchell goes to the sideline. Tierra McCowan stays on. Brenham, Texas, the number 12 recruit nationally. Still a very, very raw basketball player, but physically, she has been given every gift you could possibly have. She is 6'7", stoutly built, and got pretty good hands.
She's just got to get her balance and work on having some post patience.
William down the lane. Good look down inside and quickly up off the glass. First basket for McCowan.
That's what Mississippi State needs more from Morgan William. When Morgan William is attacking the basket, Mississippi State's a better offensive team.
Bulldogs leading the Aggies 19-11, 5:50 remaining in the opening half. Courtney Williams down the lane looking very tentative, but finally gets one to rattle home. She did not look comfortable on that move at all.
I almost thought she closed her eyes when she came in. because she came to a tremendous jump stop, but still was able to go over 6'7" McCowan.
Second personal foul on McCowan. So Courtney Williams, again, who really struggled last couple of games, and particularly in the win against Tennessee. 0 for 7, but only 2 for 17 coming into this one. And usually a pretty reliable free throw shooter. Misses that. Walker, mid-range jump shot once again. And what did Vic Schaefer say? We're not going to let her catch it where she wants, and then we're not going to let her go where she wants.
But when she gets a long rebound like that, you better find her quick.
5 of 8 from the floor. Everybody else has been absolutely awful for Texas A&M. That's a traveling violation, no doubt about that. Chelsea Jennings looking for it. Long rebound, as you mentioned.
Well, Walker, and she doesn't stand behind the three. A lot of players want to toe that line.
Yeah,
she said, let me get to where my high percentage range is. One dribble in and knocks it down.
That's old school basketball. 99% of college, let alone high school players, would have backed up a little bit and set their feet behind the line. Dillingham chasing Walker off the front of the iron, and Dillingham takes the rebound.
Walker is a smart player. She's a computer science engineer. You think she analyzes every shot she takes? Absolutely.
William down the lane once again. Good pass off in traffic, and a much-needed score down inside for Brianna Richardson, wearing number 3 in maroon, just back on for Mississippi State.
The offenses look to be settling in a little bit. It's getting better, Paul. Hang in there.
Well, they're making layups. That's a good thing. And Courtney Walker's been getting some very good looks. Hillsman with a 15-footer not there. And on the end line, Courtney Williams being helped up by Dillingham, and it will be Mississippi State basketball. When we come back on the road, Mississippi State.
Curtis Knox, she doesn't normally play in double-digit minutes per game, so a lot's riding on both she and Shalante Allen.
Courtney Walker, 5 of 9 from the floor. The rest of the Aggies, 2 of 16. That will test your positivity. Casey, what have you got?
You guys are talking about how A&M is handling this game without Jordan Jones, but on the sidelines, she's doing everything she can to stay in this game, telling her team, you've got to communicate better on the defensive side of the floor, and she's saying, hey, we're going to get in this, let's make layups, really showing that leadership down here for Texas A&M.
Thank you very much, Casey. Shalante Allen, number 10 in white, back on after what seemingly was a minor leg injury, and then an errant pass. Hillsman looking down inside for Courtney Williams, who does not appear to be herself at all.
It's got to be uncomfortable. You know, at the beginning of the season, was said to have had a fracture in her back. So playing basketball with a hurt back, that's tough.
Morgan William creating the contact. As far as team fouls are concerned, we'll keep those numbers for you. Mississippi State with 2 team fouls, and now Texas A&M with 3:57 remaining in the quarter are out of fouls. 2 free throws coming on every whistle now called against Texas A&M. Vivians has been very quiet, number 35 in maroon down in the corner. Good deep post up by McCown once again, and will get bailed out off the miss. Boy, she got deep position and she got quick feet.
She gets terrific position, but she's got to then, as she's going to score, then it's that post patience to get pivot around, take your time, eye your target before you release it, finish through contact, good girl, and then get to the free throw line.
Hillsman's first personal foul, and a pretty good looking stroke from the 6'7" freshman, a 67%er from the free throw line. Not bad.
I knew you were going to like that stroke. You really follow, especially the big players when they shoot the free throw, of what that free throw stroke looks like.
Well, didn't make the second, got pretty good rotation, got good elbow position. You know fundamentally what a shot looks like as soon as you see it. A&M down in a 2-3 zone. Richardson working against Williams, cut off there. Outside to Morgan William, off the front of the iron. McCown over the top, no good rebound in traffic. Taken by Texas A&M's Hillsman.
I would look to go to Courtney Walker and use her in a ball screen. Bring McCowan out, let her attack off the dribble. That's a good attack by Shalante Allen.
Very nice move by number 10 in white. Shalante Allen getting some additional playing time once again after Curtis Knox got the start. Knox got a lot of valuable experience last year. Off the strip, here comes A&M again. Walker with it. Somebody got to pick up the ball into the middle to Williams. Little 6-foot jump shot. And what did Gary Blair tell us today about Courtney Williams? He said, I want her to make all her money, figuratively speaking, on the SEC logo. Right there in the middle of the lane. Get to that spot. Nobody can block her shot. That's where I want her to go.
Well, and you see now Courtney Williams is playing the 4 spot. So when you have an athletic 4 spot that can run the floor from you, she's bingo, Paul, right on the SEC logo, just like you called it.
Well, Gary Blair Carter, I was just repeating what head coach for Texas A&M told us earlier today. But remember when Courtney Williams was at her very best last year, averaging 15 points per game. It was Williams, Walker, Walker, Williams. That's where she made a living. Off screens, into the lane, 10, 12-foot jump shots.
And I really like Courtney Williams at the 4 spot. So it will, she'll be able to score that free throw line area. If she doesn't have the ability to score, she'll open up things for the post down low.
Walker really doing a good job pressing the tempo, draws the personal foul against Dillingham. 2.5 minutes remaining here in the opening half. Thanks so much for joining us. College basketball coming your way on the SEC Network, presented by Dr. Pepper. Mississippi State leading 26-19. It was a really ugly start for both teams. A combined 7 for 24 in the opening quarter. Mississippi State led 10-7, got out on top 21-15, and now here we are with a 7-point advantage for the visitors. Good look down inside. Hillsman knocked to the floor, never got that up on the rim. Remember, she took a very hard fall at practice earlier today. We were there to see it. Brianna Richardson scores at the other end because Hillsman could never get back to the defensive end and limping pretty heavily. Hillsman trying to walk that off. Attack of the basket off the side of the iron, missed by Texas A&M's Jennings. And they continue to struggle offensively except for Courtney Walker. Richardson step inside against Williams, gets her own rebound, and right in the face that time of Courtney Williams. So Brianna Richardson doing a very nice job, number 3 in maroon. And now we've got the largest lead of the game. Mississippi State on top 30-19.
And Mississippi State really owning the boards, and that was a push-off by Courtney Walker. We're calling games won versus games lost for Mississippi State. Games won, they're plus 10 in the rebound category. Games lost, minus almost 6 rebounds a game.
Dominique Dillingham, once again, your eyes kind of go where the contact was.
Gary Blair, you're the defensive mind. Gary Blair's the offensive mind. Who wins? He said it's kind of like baseball, good hitting or good pitching. And he feels like good pitching.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, and he feels like his team are the pitchers.
Yeah, but he also said at the end of that conversation that Gary Blair, his former mentor and head coach when he was associate head coach at Arkansas and here at Texas A&M, stolen by Williams. Finish the thought in a moment. A&M really needs a basket. Boy, silly foul, just a little touch foul on Morgan Williams, and Courtney Williams will look to complete the 3-point play.
Well, one of the things that some questioned is Courtney Williams, can she play through contact? That was just a little bit of a touch foul, but she was able to finish.
First personal foul on the 5'5" sophomore out of Birmingham, Alabama, Morgan Williams, as Courtney Williams will look to complete the 3-point play. But just to finish the thought, Vic Schaefer, as far as Gary Blair, Coach Schaefer about defense winning over offense, he said, but Gary Blair sees the game offensively like nobody. He can draw up a play. He knows exactly the matchup he wants. He can get his best player the basketball where he wants them to. He said nobody's ever seen anything like it. Dillingham on the dribble drive, inside of a minute remaining. Mississippi State leading by 9. They've led by as many as 11. On the weave, William cut off by Knox. Shot clock winding down. William, oh, nice change of pace. Laying it up, knocked to the floor, and will shoot a couple of free throws. Boy, stop and go, green light, red light. What a move.
Well, what's tough about guarding Morgan Williams is she's low to the ground, and then her stop and start move, it's tough to catch her.
Curtis Knox picks up her first personal foul, so 47.4 seconds remaining. And the usually very reliable Morgan William, an 84%er, will go back to the line. Good on the first. Fifth meeting all time between Texas A&M and Mississippi State. Texas A&M easily won the first three meetings before Mississippi State won that close one last year. 63-61, Victoria Vivians hit her only three-pointer of the night, and that won the basketball game. Both free throws up and good. Here comes Walker. And Rail Howard back on around the screen. 15-foot jump shot off the back of the iron. Ball is tipped, but Texas A&M might hold for the final shot. They do not. Walker with the offensive rebound. Still not holding. Williams with the offensive rebound. And it's deflected and out of bounds by number 5, Sharice Williams. And now Texas A&M should settle for the final shot, now that they've got their third try.
That was 3 opportunities, and it was a good thing they maintained possession, because you would give Mississippi State another possession.
Absolutely. I could not fathom why they weren't pulling the ball back out. And here Williams going way too early, number 12 in white.
But that's where you lose when you don't have Jordan Jones. That's a player, Jordan Jones understands time and score, and you've got inexperienced players running the point right now that don't quite get it like that senior.
Dominique Dillingham picked up her second personal foul. Williams at the free throw line, 5'10" freshman out of Clovis, New Mexico. Good on the first.
And substitution, Taylor Cooper or Chelsea James.
Good on both free throws, but still 15.9 seconds remaining, and Vic Schaefer is going to use a 30-second timeout. Can't take it with you into the second half. 4 total timeouts. You only take 3 with you. So 2-4 and streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. Florida is clearly, to my mind, Carolyn, the biggest surprise in the SEC and one of the biggest in the country.
Well, and I think the big turnaround are the newcomers. You've got Simone Westbrook.
Vivian's at the other end. Now Walker's going to have some room. Both teams doing a very poor job of managing the clock. Outside to Cooper, and buries a three-pointer. So we were talking about Mississippi State extending their 9-point lead, assuming they would hold for the final shot, but they did not.
And Taylor Cooper calls from it from the to even knock down a 3, but Vic Schaefer told us she's at her best, and Mississippi State is at their best when she's attacking the basket, because when she does, she attracts so much attention from the defense, and she can create easy opportunities for Mississippi State. I look for more of that in the second half.
Not particularly efficient from the floor, but as you mentioned, going to be very much in attack mode, but got to be careful. Got 2 personal fouls. You can't pick up a third here early as we're underway in the second half. Texas A&M at 16-7, 6-4 in conference, coming off that emotional overtime win over Tennessee. Mississippi State at 21-4, 8-3 in conference, and a turnover looking for Courtney Williams down in the left corner.
Well, we talked about Curtis Knox playing in single digits in the regular season, and so reading each other, understanding when Courtney Williams is going to cut or Courtney Walker is going to be where, is something she's not as familiar with as Jordan Jones would be.
Curtis Knox averaging under 8 minutes per contest so far in a backup role. Here's William being given some space, tries to draw the contact. On the weave, outside to Dominique Dillingham, off the bottom of the iron, and the offensive rebound. An attempt by Mississippi State, but dropped out of bounds by Katera Chappell.
That whole possession, Paul, was on the side of the floor opposite of Courtney Walker. Not one time was she an option in that offensive flow. Or Victoria Vivians, I'm sorry.
I knew you were going to get there.
I was going to get there eventually. But Victoria Vivians over here by herself.
Vivians not efficient in the first half at all, only 2 for 12. And there is Courtney Walker once again, an absolute delight to watch. Burying that jumper, averaging 19 points, 6 rebounds as well.
There's a WNBA scout here today that's watching Courtney Williams and Courtney Walker. And Courtney Walker, what they love about her game is the mid-range. Not too many guards take as much pride in that mid-range as she does.
Ball deflected out of bounds by Walker, and Vic Schaefer and Mississippi State are going to rue the last 3 minutes of this basketball game. They did not take care of time and score when they were looking to extend a 9-point lead. And for more on that, let's go down to the sideline once again in Casey Smith.
Paul, Gary Blair told me that he felt that his team lost control offensively without Jordan Jones in the game. He said he just felt like they couldn't remember plays, and it became a thing where he felt like he couldn't coach them as well as he could. He was frustrated with what he saw on the offensive side of the ball. He said in the second half they will be in front of him. He thinks they will do better. He just needs someone to step up. And guys, on the whiteboard, one of their keys was Jordan has been the heart and soul of this team. We need somebody on this team to step up. We need the whole team to step up. Gary Blair is happy with what they've done on Vivians. Defensively, they've got to find a stop Morgan Williams.
Back and forth we go, a right hook and a left cross. Morgan William answering. Courtney Walker really starting to heat it up. That shot was defended well by Vivians. Walker now with 14 points, 7 of 12 so far from the floor.
But Walker is so tough, especially going to left. That one dribble pull-up, she gathers her balance, and then that smooth jump shot.
The only limitation on Courtney Walker is that she's 5'8". If she was 6'1", she'd probably be a very high draft pick in the WNBA. Vivians off the dribble, and the foul is going to be called against Anriel Howard, number 5 in white.
But I think Walker does such a nice job of scoring in space. She doesn't try to take a shot she can't make. And she pulls up before the defense can get there. As long as you've got that intelligence to understand that and you are producing points, you could be I think a high second or late first-round draft pick.
Morgan William fouled along the baseline by Curtis Knox. Not to make necessarily the connection or the comparison, but there's a young player named Stephan out in Golden State that's not exactly 6'6", 220 pounds. He's doing pretty good night in, night out.
He knows how to find his shots, just like Courtney Walker has learned how to find hers.
On the curl, William thought about changing speeds once again, almost blew a tire. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Thanks for joining us. Just underway here in the second half in College Station. Nice rebound down in traffic by Kyla Hillsman. William taking it in among the trees and knocks that down. Looks over at the official. Wanted an and one.
She's absorbing the contact now. Back must be feeling pretty good.
William now with 9 points in the game. Walker, as I mentioned, has 14. Vic Schaefer on the sideline, barking out instructions at the offensive end. Mississippi State got to find a way to get Vivians open. Shot clock at 8. Morgan William down the lane and finishes. 5'5", but plays so big night in, night out.
She didn't look like she got up 100% healthy, after that layup.
Heavily bandaged right shin. If you haven't seen or followed Mississippi State this year, Knox tries to answer. Good pass off to Hillsman, who misses the layup, and the rebound by Chappell taken in traffic. But here is William coming out of the backcourt. Heavily bandaged, heavily padded right shin. She's got a stress reaction in that leg, and it is just painful night in, night out. But Vic Schaefer telling us it's getting better by the day. Crowd doesn't like it, but it's going to be Mississippi State's basketball.
William, when she got up, you saw with a little bit of a limp.
Yeah. Vivians on the curl, might have gotten away with a travel, did not draw iron. Knox running with Walker on the right side, maybe gave it up too early. Dribbles to 15 feet, needs a bounce, no. Williams with the offensive rebound in traffic, no. And Anriel Howard, and a jump ball is called. Really good hard work by Texas A&M on the offensive glass, but Mississippi State keeping their noses in there, and they'll get it on the possession arrow.
Courtney Williams, that extra dribble on the putback. You're giving the defense time to recover. Just catch it and go back up strong.
Did you see Morgan William down in there? Laying on her stomach, slithering along like a snake and giving the referee the held ball signal. Look at Walker doing a pretty good job on Vivians. Vivians behind a screen, and buries that from long range. Really good screen that time by Corey, the big center.
Yeah, you can't look at Victoria Vivian's percentage from three. There goes Courtney Williams. Vivian's, if you go behind that screen, she's going to make you pay more times than not, and especially at crucial times.
That was the best move I've seen from Courtney Williams in about half a dozen games. Feeling a little rhythm and a little confidence. Chappell into the corner, Dillingham. Crowd thought it was a travel, and it was. Called double dribble instead. Well, Vic Schaefer didn't like the call. Back and forth we go. Mississippi State once led by 11, 5:08 remaining in the third, and their lead is just 4 at 38-34.
Michael Price gave Vic Schaefer a warning on the sideline. You see Courtney Walker chewing on that mouthpiece.
Oh, nice use of the handle. Turns inside, draws the contact, and will get to the free throw line. Well, Texas A&M trailed at home once by as many as 11. Victoria Vivian's trying to get her offense started, Carolyn.
It's going to be back and forth because, you know, Courtney Williams has something to say on it.
It doesn't. Line for the first time is Courtney Walker. An 86% free throw shooter, 89% in the conference. Well, we talked about diminutive of stature, huge of game. Steph Curry currently leading the NBA, and both of them leading the world of basketball in time with your mouthpiece not in its proper place.
Well, I'm wondering, is the mouthpiece for protecting her teeth, or is she using it like chewing gum?
I think it's like chewing gum. At least Steph puts it back in, other than when he's kind of wandering around when the ball is dead.
Texas A&M bringing the full court pressure, turning up the defense.
Vivian's only points now, number 35 with the basketball, guarded by Knox. 3 of 6 from three-point range. She has not made a two-pointer so far on the night. 14 total shots. Chappell looking down inside. Tierra McCowan back on. Shot clock at 6. Vivian's has got long range out to Dillingham. I don't know about that decision. Off the side of the iron. And once again with the offensive rebound, Tierra McCowan able to just overpower Texas A&M and put that ball back up and in.
It's the 13th offensive rebound for Mississippi State. That time, McCowan put it up on the top corner of the square and was able to finish with one hand through contact. Arms
hooked with Kyla Hilsman, who picked up her third personal foul. That free throw off the front of the iron. Battle for it between Vivian's and Enrielle Howard. And it's going to be Texas A&M basketball. 4:22 remaining. Mississippi State again led by 11. They had a chance to run down the final shot in the opening half, maybe extend their lead. They went way too early. Danny Williams for A&M hit a three-pointer along with a couple of free throws, and Mississippi State, instead of extending their lead, was up by only half a dozen. Walker again, good high screen that time by Hilsman, and Courtney Walker adding to her total once again.
You got to know that Vic Schaefer is thinking, I saw what Texas A&M did to Tennessee. I know what a great coach and manufacturing points Gary Blair is. No lead is safe. Looking
inside to McCowan, too hard off the glass, and the defensive rebound lost by Howard out of bounds. Walker now with 18, Carolyn.
Well, using the ball screen, coming off the post player. Look, if you don't move your feet and make her go out to an angle, you let her turn the corner, forget about it.
And speaking of angles, the freshman Tierra McCowan took an awful angle in coming out to hedge. Way too much room to turn the corner for one of the country's best scorers. Inside of 3:50 remaining here in the third. College basketball coming your way on the SEC Network, presented by Dr. Pepper. The closest Texas A&M has been in quite some time. Chappell has the ball deflected away. Walker with it. Now to Howard, going 2-on-1 with Williams. Over to Williams, back to Howard. Lays it up and in, and Texas A&M is back within one. And the crowd very much back in it. 13th turnover for Mississippi State. Vivian's one dribble. Wow, what an answer. I was about to say bad shot, but that silenced the crowd. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. What a big make for Victoria Vivians. Her first 2-point make of the night. 4 of 15 overall. 3 of 6 from outside the arc.
Vivians has a shooter's mentality. I said, is there a shot you've seen you don't like? She said, no, ma'am. She knows that she's got to be a shooter for Mississippi State.
Been struggling a little bit from outside the arc, which is certainly one of her specialties. Only 23% in conference play. She's made 3 of them tonight. Battle of the big women down inside, and Kyla Hilsman with a very important answer for Texas A&M. 43-42, 2:40 left in the third. Well, what didn't start out so well has become a very entertaining and competitive game. William trying to turn the corner and draws the foul. Good smart play by 5'5" Morgan William, who will work her way to the free throw line.
I understand Texas A&M, their last 6 games have been decided by less than 10 points. So they're used to being in close and tight situations.
Anriel Howard, there she is, number 5. The outstanding freshman from Atlanta just picked up her second personal foul. Here in the quarter, Mississippi State with only 1 team foul so far, and now Texas A&M is over the limit. Casey, what have you got from the sideline?
You guys are talking about how close A&M's games have been. Another thing they pointed out in the locker room, assistant coach Bob Starkey said he feels like 5 straight games this A&M squad has had a poor third quarter, and he challenged the team to change that. And that's something that Gary Blair also told me, that it's this third quarter that's so important to get back in the lead, to regain that momentum, and of course play off the energy here inside Reed Arena.
And that's a tall task when you're doing it without Jordan Jones.
Yep, no question. Again, if you're just joining us, Jordan Jones injured late against Tennessee, could not, the x-rays and the CT scan were negative, but because of the protocols with regard to concussion was mandated, held out of this evening's game. Knox with it out at the point.
Let's watch Texas A&M. Early offense is Walker off a ball screen.
Big make by Curtis Knox. Excellent execution of the high screen and roll. Inside of 2 minutes in the third, 1-point game. William around the screen. A big screen at that with McCowan. Offensive rebound is taken, falling out of bounds, out of control. And Brianna Richardson with the turnover.
The ball screens have been what has worked for Texas A&M. Curtis Knox using Rachel Mitchell and then attacking Tiara McCowan, and does a nice job. Don't go right into 6'7", but find an area for space. And Jordan Jones says, that's what we're looking for.
And I thought, and I'm not surprised, Vic Schaefer recognizing that his freshman center, Tiara McCowan, not taking all the right angles as Williams scores at the other end. Immediately got Chinwe Okoye back in the game at the post position, and Texas A&M crowd on their feet. They've come all the way back to take a 1-point advantage, 46-45. From 11 down. Sounds kind of familiar. Dillingham attacking the basket, lays it up and in. Some late help that time from Mitchell.
Both these coaches do a terrific job of dialing up points at crucial times.
Some full court pressure, Walker having to work awfully hard. A lot of ball handling. Usually plays off the ball with their usual lineup of Jordan Jones. Oh, nice change of pace. Got caught in traffic and a traveling violation. So on the turnover, Mississippi State will try to answer once again, back on top, 47-46, 47.3 seconds remaining in the third.
Until that possession, Texas A&M had hit 6 of their last 7 shots. Their offense definitely a lot better than that first quarter.
Well, Gary Blair, as his former associate head coach said, he's the best in the game at drawing up plays and recognizing where he can get a shot. Richardson dribbling into some traffic. Nice drop off to Okoye, but she has got to finish that. A lot of missed layups in this game.
And I think the slow start for Texas A&M may have been a little lack of confidence not having Jordan Jones, but we heard Gary Blair continue to talk positive to his team.
Gary Blair recognizing that he's got a mismatch. As we talked about, the 6'1" Courtney Williams isolated against Dominique Dillingham, and that will take us to the sideline with Texas A&M coming back from 11 down to lead at 40.
But now, Mississippi State, they've got to get stops, and then I look for Morgan Williams to be in attack mode, to get in that paint, and that opens up opportunities either for the post or a kick out to Victoria Vivians.
See if Texas A&M goes high screen and roll once again. They go away from that, looking for Walker up top. Just underway here in the fourth quarter. Big game between both of these teams who obviously want to host in the first round. Walker running out of real estate. Williams really feeling it. Courtney Williams now with 18 points. 2 of 17 for her last 2 games coming in. She's 7 of 14 in this one. Richardson picked up her dribble in a very bad spot. The crowd is really into it here at Reed Arena. Crowd of almost 6,000 off the side of the iron. Here comes Knox out of the backcourt. Knox, nobody stops the ball right down the lane. Missed that Corey with the rebound in traffic. Texas A&M coming off that big win over Tennessee. Well, Mississippi State, after going through a stretch of losing 3 out of 4, have won 4 straight. They're 8-3 in conference. Jasmine Lunkman, number 21, on the floor for the first time in the game. Kick outside. Morgan Williams for 3 off the side of the iron, and Richardson will easily get the offensive rebound for the reset.
Vic Schaefer is looking to try to get the penetrate to the drift screen.
Looking for Vivians. Good help that time by Knox on the switch. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Crossover dribble. 14-footer in and out. Ball deflected, and a big call here, and it's going to be A&M basketball.
Watch Courtney Walker attracts all the defense. She finds her cohort, Courtney Williams, not just on the baseline, but behind the three-point line. Gary Blair loves it.
Well, he knows that Courtney Williams, again, an all-SEC performer last year, has really been struggling physically with that bad back. And they need her, they being Texas A&M, if they want to make a run up to that number 2 seed, possibly host in the first 2 rounds of the NCAA. They need her healthy. Slante Allen off the bench, high screen and roll. Texas A&M with their largest lead at 53-47, and a much-needed timeout for Vic Schaefer in Mississippi State.
The floor, they've made 1 of 2 threes. They are being very opportunistic with their offense, especially off the ball screens.
What a turnaround after going 4 for 17, make it 3 for 17 for Texas A&M in the opening quarter. Dillingham looking inside. Okure battling. Mitchell, 6'5" against 6'7". Out of the corner, Vivian's not there. Rebound is deflected, and it's going to be Mississippi State basketball. Casey, you were listening in on Vic Schaefer and Mississippi State's huddle.
Absolutely, Paul, and he said that the one-on-one game on defense is what they have not been doing correctly. In the second half, he said, the Courtneys are just killing you guys. We've got to help out on defense, and if you're going to win on the road in an atmosphere like Texas A&M and Reed Arena, you have to execute the little things, and that's going to start on the defensive side of the ball.
What a great pass by number 1 Williams, looking ahead to Courtney Walker, number 33. Dillingham commits the personal foul. I think that's her 3rd. What a perfect pass.
Oh, good heads-up play. Williams to Courtney Walker. But back to what Casey said, Vic Schaefer was talking about, the one-on-one defense. If you're getting beat on ball screens and you know that the ball screen's coming, number 1, your coach has got to call it. And then number 2, it's up to the guard. Then you've got to get through the screen so you don't rely on the help, because Casey's absolutely right. The one-on-one, Courtney Walker and Courtney Williams are killing them one-on-one.
Well, and so much of the shoot-around, which we attended this morning in the practice for Vic Schaefer, talking about hard hedges and don't let this screen and roll beat us. But Gary Blair, the master at the offensive end, has found some combination, and it's not always point guard and 5. He's going back and forth deep into his deck to pull out a combination where he can get a good shot. Okore looking for some room down inside and is going to be fouled by Rachel Mitchell.
Nell Fortner in the studio called Gary Blair the puppet master. He can manufacture some points.
Well, Vic Schaefer said the same thing. Gary Blair, one of the great offensive minds ever in college basketball. 7:02 remaining. Texas A&M leading at 55-47. Just one team foul apiece so far here in the fourth. Could be a factor. Seems like Mississippi State has not scored in a long time. I'd be about right. They haven't scored here in the fourth quarter.
You're absolutely
right.
And
a careless turnover. Here comes Allen. Gives it up back to Dillingham. Richardson through traffic. Has that shot blocked by Mitchell, but it's going to be 2 free throws. Overall on the night, Carolyn, Mississippi State only shooting 31%. And after that very slow start, Texas A&M up now to 43.5. Brianna Richardson, a 71% free throw shooter. First point so far of the final quarter. Tonight, after women's college basketball has been completed, stay with our SEC experts and catch all of the latest news from around the world of sports in the SEC. SEC Now, tonight at 11 Eastern on the SEC Network and streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. With Carolyn Peck and Casey Smith, I'm Paul Sunderland. You're watching college basketball on the SEC Network, presented by Dr. Pepper. Allen, ball's on the floor off the miss, bodies after it. Courtney Williams tried to call a timeout. But as things clear, Jasmine Lumpkin was down on the floor on the held ball. It would be Mississippi State's basketball. If you're just joining us, very inaccurate affair early. Neither team could make a shot in the opening quarter. Mississippi State led at 10-7 and then extended that lead to 11, 30-19. But a strong finish by A&M got them within 6 at the half. And then A&M, behind Courtney Walker and Courtney Williams, led it after 3. Offensive rebound. Chinwe Okore with a stick back. Jasmine Holmes, number 10 in maroon, on for the first time in this game, Carolyn.
Well, I just noticed that Morgan Williams on the bench, so Vic Schaefer's got to be resting her to be able to go the distance to finish the game.
Shot clock at 10, around the screen, 19-footer on the way, going to come up short. Long rebound taken by Holmes. Talented, nice-looking freshman point guard, wearing number 10 again in maroon, on for the first time.
And what Holmes has is quickness. You're looking for her coming off ball screens.
Sets her feet for an 18-footer off the side of the iron. I'm not sure that's the shot that Mississippi State coaches wanted, and here comes Allen out of the backcourt inside of 5:20 remaining.
You watch Gary Blair orchestrate the offense. Normally be Jordan Jones kind of taking the lead, but an inexperienced point guard relying on her coach.
Clearing the side for Shalante Allen, into the corner now to Walker, working on Dillingham. Crossover dribble, pull up, 17-footer, no. Good block out by Okore, and a big rebound from Mississippi State. Can't imagine that Morgan Williams will sit much longer. Now 4:45 remaining. Good defense by Allen. Holmes turning inside, and the drop pass through the hands of Okore. Not a very, very good pass by the young freshman point guard. We'll step aside. A&M leading Mississippi.
Also, we're playing without a starter in Asia Dozier, and just 4 days before, Tiffany Mitchell had taken a very scary fall. So, yes, Connecticut is a very good team, and the guard play for South Carolina was not strong, but experience helps you to prepare, and maybe we'll see those two teams meet in April.
Step back jump shot and bailed out. Wow, Vic Schaefer doesn't like that call at all. Victoria Vivens is called for her second personal foul. And on the bailout, foul in the jump shooter, Walker back at the line.
Oh, right on the arm.
Yeah, you're right. On the replay, you're right. You're right. I thought it was all ball, and Vivians came off the ball, hit the arm of Walker, and she'll go to the free throw line.
Yeah, you expected this to come down to a close game. Last year when these two teams met, Victoria Vivians had to hit a 3 for the win, and it was the only 3 she had made in that whole entire game.
First free throw miss of the evening so far for Walker, now 4 of 5. Shooting 89% from the free throw line in conference, and you can see why. Perfect technique and delivery. A&M leading at 56-51, inside of 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. Vivians running baseline, a lot of dribbling up top by Morgan Williams. Change of speed, still time on the shot clock, turning down inside, and draws the foul on the perimeter. Just the second team foul on Texas A&M, also 2 on Mississippi State.
Yep. Courtney Knox got her with the hip.
Knox picks up her 3rd personal foul. Richardson with the offensive rebound, and Mississippi State will, oh wow. Morgan Williams a little bit out of control, and Mitchell comes up with it. Walker with 21, Courtney Williams with 18.
It's a mismatch.
Williams feeling it, trying to get to her sweet spot. A step back jumper. She now has 20. The two Courtneys have combined for 41 of the 58 Texas A&M points. Dillingham, 15-footer answers. Boy, she is so tough. And quickly a timeout called by Vic Schaefer of Mississippi State. 3:11 remaining.
Now let's get smart. Slow down. Slow down. Good call. Everybody in these stands liked it.
He's like he was being. I was about to say he was encouraging to everybody, but I think there was a little sarcasm to Michael Price.
Well, I think he was very sincere. Very sincere. One of the very best in the business. Coach Blair been doing it for a long, long time. National champion in 2011. Final Four at Arkansas the first year he and Vic Schaefer were together in 1996. Trouble getting it in. Good help in the backcourt by Mitchell. Inside of 3 minutes remaining in this one. Critical game for both of these teams. They want to vie for the number 2 seed, and also they want to host. Morgan Williams almost with a steal, and now the shot clock a problem. Williams trying to get to her sweet spot, crossover dribble. That's not going to be close. Did not draw iron. And here comes Williams once again out of the backcourt. Spread floor, turns on the Jets, lays it up off the side of the iron. Went down hard. She'll gather herself and get to the free throw line.
She's going to need an ice bath after this game. With all the licks she's taken, the physical contact she has drawn.
Courtney Williams picked up her second personal foul. Probably not an issue with only 2:37 remaining. But as far as team fouls and being in the bonus, now Texas A&M is out of fouls. So free throws the rest of the way for Mississippi State. Morgan Williams, an expert free throw shooter at 84%. Good for the first.
You know, like Mississippi State is the team that's tough defensively. Can they get enough stops to manufacture points, or will it be the offensive mindset of Gary Blair to be able to continue to hold on to this lead to pull off the win?
Morgan Williams with a near steal and going to be deflected out of bounds. Great effort by number 2 in maroon. Remember what Vic Schaefer told us. Defense travels. It gets on the charter flight. Vic Schaefer thought that had been a turnover, and it should be his team's basketball. Mississippi State 21-4, 8-3 in conference. Texas A&M 16-7, playing their 11th ranked team so far on the schedule.
Mississippi State trying to hold on to that #2 spot. They want to host. Vic Schaefer was very disappointed they missed out on hosting in the first and second round last season.
Well, they've created quite a following down in Starkville. What a play by Curtis Knox, weaving her way on the dribble for a huge basket. The lead is only 5 inside of 2 minutes. Looking for Vivians on the curl, guarded by Walker. Remember, A&M is out of fouls. Vivians trying to draw some contact. Lots of contact, but no call. No harm, no foul, and A&M wants to slow it down. Gary Blair, the puppet master, pulling all the strings. Deploying his forces. There he's got the mismatch that he wants. Williams over Dillingham, turns and makes. Seven-point lead, 1:10 left. Pull-up jumper by William, needs a bounce, no, long rebound. Ball is loose, Dillingham after it, along with Knox, and on the possession arrow, the basketball will go to Texas A&M.
Courtney Williams has been so huge for Texas A&M, even through contact, able to knock down the shot. He's getting exactly what he was needing from #1.
6'1" Courtney Williams, over 5'9" Dominique Dillingham. Getting to her spot just off the SEC, as Gary Blair told us at shoot around today. Nobody can block her shot, right over the top for another score. 22 points now for Williams, 21 for Walker.
Walker and Williams, when those two were scoring 20 points apiece, Texas A&M is hard to beat. You have Courtney Williams breaking you down with the mid-range jumper, and Courtney Williams has really found her stroke on the offensive end, playing on balance, playing under control, playing as if she's healthy. Looks like that back is feeling pretty good. Look at her stroke it from the three-point line.
Double twos will loosen that back up big time. 22 points on the night. And look at the efficiency. More points than field goal attempts for both of them, and they're working the backboards. So let's set it for you. 1:03 remaining. A&M on top, 62-55. They lead the all-time series 3-1. 2 timeouts remaining for A&M. Only 1 timeout remaining for Mississippi State. Walker loses the handle. Williams got it. William on the floor, and on the possession arrow, it'll stay with Mississippi State. The 2 point guards battling after the loose ball.
This is a huge pull-off for Texas A&M to be able to, if they're able to pull off the win, to do it without Jordan Jones.
Absolutely. Can you imagine playing not only without your starting point guard, but Jordan Jones is among the elite players in the conference, a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. There she is. Suffered that hard fall against Tennessee, not allowed to play because of the concussion protocol.
But Curtis Knox and Shalonte Allen, players that play normally single-digit minutes, have really been vital in this ballgame.
Oh, they're the players of the game, along with Courtney Williams, unexpected. Vivians down inside, throws it up and in. Around Rachel Mitchell at 6'7". 5-point game. Remember, Mississippi State, looking at their only 2 team fouls, so they got to foul twice before they even get in the bonus. So playing for the stop here, you can't foul now. Ball is loose, Vivians has got it. Back to her feet, ball is loose again.
A lot of time
Corey has got it.
clock.
Yeah, a lot of time off the clock. Richardson steps through, lays it up, can't get the score. The foul on Curtis Knox. Yeah, that scrum took about 10 very valuable seconds. Knox picks up her 4th personal.
We watch. Just nobody has possession, and that clock continues to tick.
Ooh, just a little bit of a touch foul on Knox. So Brianna Richardson will go to the free throw line. Made her first 2 and needs a bounce there and doesn't get it.
Texas A&M has 2 timeouts left. I would expect that Gary Blair, if Richardson makes this, call the timeout, and advance, because you know the defense at Mississippi State, you don't want to take the risk of turning the ball over on their end of the court.
Well, and problem for Mississippi State as well. They've only got 2 team fouls, so even they can't send Texas A&M to the line even if they want to. And as you thought, on the make, Gary Blair has changed it to a full timeout and will advance the basketball. 19.2 Vanderbilt later tonight, and then on Monday they will host South Carolina. Wow.
Yeah. The battle in the SEC of all the close games, and we've had quite a few of them, that's made it a lot of fun.
Well, talk about a lot of them. Texas A&M seems to only play close games.
Last 6 decided in the last final minute or overtime of the ball game.
Look at that on the held ball. Dillingham was looking it over her coach saying, do you want us to foul? But it wouldn't have done any good. And on the held ball, Mississippi State is going to have possession with 13.4 seconds remaining. See Dillingham looking over? She's looking over. Should I foul? Should I foul? Instead, she came up with a held ball.
And that's just a heads-up defensive player.
Wow, what did they call? They called something before the held ball. This is huge. Texas A&M is going to be awarded the basketball. I didn't see a timeout before the held ball. Well, there's the foul, but still, it's only the 3rd team foul, so it's no free throws. 9.9 seconds remaining. They got to foul once again, and then they foul, and they'll send Texas A&M. I'm still trying to figure out what happened in that one call when it looked like Dominique Dillingham had a held ball. Vic Schaefer telling the official that he wants a timeout to talk things over. So not a lot of real clarity on that particular call. But they didn't put a foul. They didn't put a foul on the board. No. We're now being told that it was a held ball. A&M had the arrow, but the arrow at the scorer's table showed Mississippi State. Thank you very much, our great crew in the truck. And that's going to be another foul. Dillingham holding up Courtney Walker. The arrow at the table clearly indicated Mississippi State, but now it's probably moot. 62-58 is the advantage for Texas A&M with 6.9 seconds remaining as Dillingham, always hard player, always hard playing, if you will, number 00, picks up the personal foul. Now Mississippi State is out of fouls. They got a foul immediately. Got to get it in. Dangerous pass. Walker will dribble it out. And that will be the basketball game if Shalante Allen can make one of these 2 free throws. It's still a 2-possession game as it is. Crowd doesn't like it, but if you're Vic Schaefer, of course you got a foul.
This is a huge game for Courtney Williams. She stepped up big